Okay, so what I'm going to tell you now is absolutely huge in terms of your progress in your business success, and this is a visual demonstration of how you get results. You get results whatever you do, so I'm standing here and I'm getting results. If I put the dishwasher on, I get results. If I don't put the soap in, I get different results. So whatever we do, we get results. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but we have about 2 million bytes of raw information coming into our brain through our senses. So through our hearing, through our sight, through things that we touch. And we can only actually deal with 7 plus or minus 2 bytes per second. So we've got to reduce the information from 2 million bytes per second to 7 bytes per second. And we have a really complex system which we go through to do this, and I'm going to tell you about that now. So I'm hoping you're finding this interesting. So the purpose of reducing the information is so that we can actually deal with what's coming in. And what we do when we reduce the information is we either delete, generalise or distort the information. So probably 98% of the information that we get coming in we take absolutely no notice of or delete. So I don't know if you drove anywhere this morning or you went for a walk this morning, but I bet you didn't count the number of trees or the number of cars or look at the clouds in the sky. They're all there as raw data, but actually you didn't take any notice of them. The next thing that we do is to generalise the information. So I'm not sure what your profession is, but I often work with people like accountants, I work with teachers, I work with lots of people that run businesses in a variety of ways. So some people will say, all accountants are boring, and some of the accountants I know are and some of them aren't, but it's a generalisation that we do. So all teachers have got it easy, they've got 6 weeks holiday. All politicians are corrupt. You hear those sort of generalisations wherever you go and whoever you talk to. And then we distort the rest. So I don't know who you've got in your family, but if you think about your mum, your dad, your sisters, your brothers, and recall an event that happened in the past, then you've probably got very different versions of it. I know that when I talk to my husband about parties that we've been to sort of 5 years ago, he'll say this thing happened and I'll say, no it didn't. And of course I'm always right, but if you see what I mean. So we generalise, delete, distort, and the way that we do this is by using a series of filters. The cauliflower is the brain, by the way. It's a nice visual representation of it. It looks a little bit like some of the brains I used to see when I was a doctor, but we won't go into that any. So some of the filters that we use are our memories and our experiences. So you probably have memories of yourself when you're little and things that happened to you, and you've probably attached negative and positive emotions onto that. And I'm sure as I'm talking you'll be sort of trawling through your brain thinking, oh yes, perhaps something, when it happened when I was at school, or something my mum or my dad said that made me think in a certain way. We then have values. So values are what are really, really important to us. So they're usually in place by the age of 7, certainly by the age of 10. And we get them from our parents, from our teachers, from our peers, from our colleagues, our friends who we talk to. Just examples of values. One of my big values is purpose. So I like to have a purpose. I like to have fun, which is why I've now got the cauliflower sitting in front of you here. And the others are sort of clarity and developing people. That includes myself as well as people like you. So those are my values, and you'll have different ones, and we'll go into that later in one of the later sessions. We also have beliefs. So we have beliefs about ourselves that are empowering. We have beliefs about ourselves that are sort of limiting and not particularly helpful. So an example of a limiting belief that people often come to me with is, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or it's all going to go wrong. And they're just on-off switches for you. They're sort of like, it's true. And here's the thing, people have different beliefs to you. and they can be changed. So in one of the later sessions we'll be looking at your beliefs and making sure that your beliefs are empowering. And of course, in order to have a belief, we have to have made a decision. So at a specific point in time in your past, you will have made decisions that are either helpful or not helpful. And here's the thing with decisions: when you make a decision, what happens is that your reality is all based on that decision. So because it's a filter, for the filtering the information that's coming in, all of your reality will be based around your decisions and your beliefs, and you won't notice anything else. So if someone has decided they're not good enough, for instance, it'll be the case that they don't actually notice when they are good enough, or when someone says, oh, you've done an amazing job, because it's a filter that they're filtering their information with. The other filters that we've got, meta programs, it's sort of related to Myers-Briggs. They're sort of internal filters that we use, which ensure that we filter things in a certain way. So an example of that would be, are you a big picture person or a detail person? So if we were doing a project together, would you want to know the big picture first or the detail? And you'll find that people that you know do differently. And we'll be coming on to that again in a later session. And then, of course, the language that we use, the language that comes out of our mouth, is a fairly superficial language that's based on a whole load of beliefs and decisions and things that happen to us underneath. And we use different language for different situations. We use different language. For instance, I've got a friend that's now speaks Finnish because he lives in Finland. And he seems like a very different person when he's using that language to when he's using English, which is really interesting. So we use all of these filters to delete, generalise and distort. And then what happens is that we get a picture in our head, or I call it a picture, but it also has things like auditory, feelings, things you say to yourself and things that you see. But whatever's going on in your head is your reality. So your reality sitting there watching me do this video is probably very different to mine, because we've all got different filters and we do the deletion, generalisation and distortion in a different way. So when you've got this picture in your mind, if you connect it to whatever's going along physiologically, so if you're running, if you're hot, you're cold, you're hungry, you're tired, whatever's going on physiologically in your body, and the state that you've got, the emotional state, so that's excited, happy, let's think of another state, tired, depressed, excited, whatever. All of those interact, and when basically what happens is that those interact to give you a behaviour. So behaviour comes from all your filters, the way you generalise, delete and distort, the picture that you've got, your physiological mind-body connection sort of thing, and the state that you're in all leads to a behaviour. So if you think about it, if you're really tired, say you were going networking or something, and you're really tired, you're going to get a different behaviour to if you're really excited. So it all makes sense. And of course behaviours get us results. So if you're not getting the results that you want in your business, if your business isn't as successful as you think it should be, then we're going to be working together through the whole of this programme in order to look at what the impact of all this is to get you those results, and then you can actually change things so you get more success. And that'd be fab, won't it? Because I've certainly used it myself, and I know I'm going to help you do that. So I hope that makes sense, and thank you for watching my cauliflower video.